Caracas, Venezuela. The sun sets over broken rooftops and half-finished billboards. Somewhere on the edge of the city, a group of men in mismatched uniforms stand guard. Some wear flip-flops, others wear jeans. One guy shows up with a hunting shotgun, another with a rusty AK older than his grandfather. This is the Venezuelan guerrilla force. Their mission? Defend the homeland. Their problem? Tonight, they're up against 100 Navy SEALs. Yes, the same SEALs trained in the deadliest conditions on Earth. Men who can swim miles underwater, fight for days without sleep, and hit a target the size of a coin from half a mile away. The guerrilla? Most of them can't even hit the bathroom light switch during a blackout. The SEALs arrive in the dead of night, silent as shadows. Drones buzz overhead. Night vision goggles cut through the darkness. Encrypted radios link every squad like a hive mind. On the other side, the guerrilla leans on flashlights with dying batteries and tries to signal each other by shouting across the street. It's not just a battle. It's a comedy sketch waiting to happen. One side owns the night. The other side can barely find the night. So here's the question. What happens when the world's most elite warriors face the world's least intimidating army? 100 Navy SEALs. To most armies, that's not many men. To Venezuela's guerrilla, it might as well be an alien invasion. These aren't just soldiers. They're human weapons, trained through years of brutal selection. Out of thousands who try, only a handful survive Hell Week, where you're expected to run, swim, and freeze for days on almost no sleep. By the end, you're either broken or you're a Navy SEAL. Each SEAL carries an M4A1 rifle, laser sights, night vision, and enough gear to fight in deserts, jungles, mountains, or underwater. Their sidearms are backups. Their drones are scouts. Their grenades are punctuation marks in the middle of a fight. Precision isn't just a tactic, it's their language. Compare that to the guerrilla. Rifles that jam more often than the local Wi-Fi, radios that sound like karaoke machines, and body armor that looks suspiciously like soccer jerseys. If the SEALs are Formula One race cars, the guerrilla is a bicycle with a flat tire. But it's not just weapons, it's mindset. SEALs move as one, silent and coordinated, every man covering the other. Guerrillas? Half the time they argue about who forgot to bring lunch. In training, SEALs learn to stay calm under fire. In Caracas, the guerrilla panics if the electricity goes out during a soap opera. This isn't going to be a battle. It's going to be a magic trick. The SEALs appear, strike, and vanish, while the guerrilla wonders if ghosts just stole their rifles. On the other side of the battlefield we have, well, let's call them fighters. The Venezuelan guerrillas aren't exactly Rome's legions or Viking berserkers. Most are just regular people handed a uniform that doesn't fit, boots that don't match, and a rifle that may or may not even work. Some of them don't even know how to load their weapons. One guy pulls the trigger and stares at the gun like it owes him money. Another shows up proudly holding a broom. Yes, a broom. Apparently someone thought a wooden stick with bristles was close enough to an assault rifle. Spoiler, it's not. Training. If watching action movies counts, then sure, they're veterans. Tactics? Mostly yelling, waving arms, and hoping the enemy runs away out of pity. Ammunition is so scarce that a few bring stones in their pockets, ready to throw if things get serious. Imagine calling for air support and getting a guy with a slingshot instead. Meanwhile, discipline is non-existent. Instead of tight formations, it looks more like a block party gone wrong. People standing around, smoking, arguing about politics, or asking who stole the last sandwich. Compare this chaos to the precision of a SEAL platoon, and you get the picture. One side plays chess, the other side just flips the board. So when the drones start buzzing overhead and laser dots appear on their chests, the guerrillas won't think enemy soldiers. They'll think, maybe the broom wasn't such a bad idea after all. Midnight. The SEALs move silently through the streets, night vision glowing green. Drones buzz overhead, marking every alley and rooftop. To them, Caracas looks like a video game level. To the guerrillas on watch, it looks like nap time. Half are dozing off, the other half are scrolling through their phones, trying to find Wi-Fi. Then it happens. A suppressed shot cracks, and the first guard drops without a sound. The others panic instantly. One fires his rifle straight into the sky. Another drops his magazine on the ground and spends 30 seconds trying to put it back in upside down. And yes, there's always that one guy swinging a broom like he's Harry Potter in a Quidditch match. The SEALs advance in perfect formation, calm and precise. Every corner is cleared, every sector covered. The guerrillas? They're yelling at each other, tripping over sandbags, and accidentally shooting their own headlights. From above, it doesn't look like a battle. It looks like an episode of slapstick comedy, except one side is armed with cutting-edge military hardware, and the other side barely knows which end of the rifle to point forward. In less than 2 minutes, the SEALs control the entire block. Radios buzz quietly, drones circle overhead, and the platoon vanishes into the night. Behind them, chaos, panicked guerrillas firing at shadows, blaming each other, and wondering if maybe the broom squad should have been promoted after all. The guerrilla finally decides to go on the offensive. Word spreads. We'll trap the Americans in the hills. Dozens of fighters gather, whispering plans that sound more like gossip than strategy. One man suggests flanking left. Another insists on charging straight ahead. A third argues that someone should have brought snacks. Coordination, zero. Meanwhile, the SEALs already know what's coming. Drones hover high, marking every movement. Thermal scopes paint glowing silhouettes of men stumbling through the dark. The ambush is reversed before it even begins. At 2 a.m., the SEALs open fire. Suppressed rifles snap, dropping targets instantly. Claymores hidden on trails detonate, scattering fighters who didn't even know they were in range. Smoke grenades fill the night, making guerrillas cough and panic. One trips over his own shoelaces, another drops his weapon and runs. And of course, the broom brigade is still there, charging bravely with sticks, as if that will scare anyone carrying an M4. From the SEALs' perspective, it's not a battle, it's pest control. Calm commands flow through radios. Fire teams move like clockwork, and in less than 60 seconds the fight is over. The guerrillas, meanwhile, retreat in total chaos. Some claim they saw invisible soldiers. Others swear they fought demons. A few argue it was unfair because the SEALs had too much technology, as if war should come with a referee. Whatever excuse they invent, the truth is clear. The first ambush ended before it even started. The gap between the two sides isn't just training, it's technology. The SEALs communicate with encrypted radios, their voices calm and clear even in the middle of chaos. Overhead, drones stream live thermal images, every fighter glowing like a neon sign in the dark. Night vision goggles turn midnight into daylight. For the SEALs, war is a science. The guerrilla? Their communication system is yelling. One shouts orders across a street, another waves his arms like he's guiding traffic, and a third just starts firing in random directions hoping someone will follow. When that fails, they switch to WhatsApp voice notes, which is great until the internet dies. Again. While SEALs launch surveillance drones that can track targets miles away, guerrillas improvise with kites, balloons, or sometimes just climbing a tree and pretending it's a lookout tower. SEALs plant claymores and precision explosives. Guerrillas use firecrackers they found left over from New Year's. One guy even tries to blind a drone with a flashlight from the ground. Spoiler, it doesn't work. Every encounter looks less like a military engagement and more like a comedy sketch. The SEALs mark targets, move in perfect formation, and finish operations in minutes. The guerrillas respond with confusion, friendly fire, and a growing suspicion that half their equipment came from a garage sale. It's not technology versus manpower, it's F-22 Raptors versus paper airplanes. And paper airplanes don't win dogfights. After losing every encounter so far, the guerrilla commanders finally rally their men. The plan: we surround the Americans. It sounds bold, until you see the execution. Fighters march in circles, half get lost in the jungle, and the other half argue about which way north actually is. One man proudly waves a compass, upside down. Meanwhile, the SEALs track them in real time. Drones hum quietly above, night vision scopes cut through the trees, and suppressed rifles wait for the perfect moment. The guerrillas believe they're sneaking up. In reality, they look like kids playing hide and seek. Except the SEALs have thermal cameras and the kids are glowing like light bulbs. When the counterattack finally begins, it's chaos. Guerrillas open fire in every direction, mostly at shadows and occasionally at each other. Some run out of bullets and start throwing rocks. Others charge bravely and trip over tree roots. And yes, one guy shows up late swinging a broom like it's a family heirloom. The SEALs respond with calm precision, short bursts, grenades at choke points, and coordinated maneuvers. Within minutes, the grand counterattack collapses into a retreat. Guerrillas scatter, shouting excuses, It was too dark. They had robots. My broom broke. From the outside, it doesn't look like an army in action. It looks like a comedy festival where the punchline is always the same. Don't bring a broom to a gunfight. By now, the guerrilla isn't just losing battles. They're losing their minds. Every night brings new nightmares. Drones buzzing overhead. Red laser dots dancing on their chests. Rifles that strike from nowhere. To the SEALs, it's technology. To the guerrillas, it's witchcraft. Rumors spread fast. Some claim the Americans are invisible. Others whisper they're robots, built in secret labs. One even swears he saw a seal fly. Turns out it was just a drone, but details aren't the guerrilla's strong suit. Fear turns into paranoia. Every shadow is an ambush. Every noise in the dark is an attack. Sleep becomes impossible. Meanwhile, the SEALs own the night. Night vision turns pitch black into green daylight. Thermal scopes spot heat behind walls and foliage. For them, it's routine. For the guerrilla, it's supernatural. One fighter aims at a shadow, empties his magazine, and hits nothing. Another sees a red laser dot on his chest and immediately surrenders, even though it was just a teammate messing with a cheap laser pointer. Discipline collapses. Units refuse to patrol at night. Others shoot at their own campfires, convinced they're under attack. Commanders shout for order, but it's pointless. How do you fight ghosts with thunder in their hands? At this point, the SEALs don't need to fight harder. They just need to keep showing up. Because the guerrilla isn't really battling soldiers anymore. They're battling their own fear, and fear never runs out of ammo. By the 7th night, the fight isn't really a fight anymore. The SEALs are still calm, efficient, and deadly. The guerrilla? They're exhausted, terrified, and running out of both ammo and excuses. Some refuse to leave their posts, pretending to stand guard while secretly napping behind sandbags. Others show up to battle armed with whatever they can find. Kitchen knives, slingshots, and of course, the legendary broom brigade, now upgraded with mops. One even ties a frying pan to his chest as armor, which works fine, until the first bullet reminds him it's just cookware. When the SEALs launch their final push, it's surgical. Drones sweep the streets, lasers mark targets, and within minutes, defensive positions crumble. Guerrillas fire wildly, often at shadows, or even at each other. Radios crackle nonsense. Commanders scream orders nobody follows. One squad retreats after being spooked by their own reflection in a broken window. The collapse is total. Some fighters throw down their weapons and surrender. Others run so fast you'd think the SEALs brought attack dogs. A few even beg for selfies with the Americans, hoping that proof of survival might earn them bragging rights back home. From above, it doesn't look like the end of a war. It looks like the wrap-up of a comedy show, complete with pratfalls, missed cues, and a cast that clearly wasn't ready for prime time. The guerrilla didn't just lose. They auditioned for history's funniest defeat. By dawn, it's over. The battle ends not with heroism, but with broomsticks abandoned in the dirt and rifles jammed beyond repair. 100 Navy SEALs stand untouched, their biggest challenge being whether they packed enough protein bars. On the other side, the Venezuelan guerrilla scatters like pigeons in a parking lot, loud, messy, and gone in every direction. Could the guerrilla ever have won? No, not in this universe, not in any timeline. It was less a war and more a live-action comedy skit. A force trained to dominate the deadliest battlefields in the world faced off against a group that looked more like extras from a soap opera. Precision met confusion, discipline met disorganization, and night vision met broomsticks. The SEALs didn't just win. They turned the fight into a case study in why training and technology matter. Meanwhile, the guerrilla unintentionally gave the world its best new meme. Don't bring a mop to a gunfight. So, what's the verdict? The SEALs could conquer this army before lunch and still have time for a nap. But the real victory here isn't about tactics or firepower. It's about laughter. Because sometimes, the only thing more entertaining than an impossible battle is watching the impossible opponent try to fight it. If you enjoyed this clash of chaos and precision, make sure to subscribe to Epic War Scenarios. Today, it was SEALs versus the Venezuelan guerrilla. Tomorrow, the madness only gets bigger.